TPCSI fans, you want to revolutionize your sports investing habits? Allow me to tell you about WagerWire. WagerWire is an app that helps you become a superior bettor by allowing you to sync all your sports books and track all your bets in one place. See your current action, your betting history, and stats. You could also sign up for sports books and collect bonus offers. Follow them at WagerWire on X, as it's the best account on the platform. Head to App Store or Play Store now and search WagerWire and download the app.
From the ECSI Sports Studios and the #1 sports investors in America, we bring you the closing bell. As the market closes, legends Jeff Dawson and Riley Magnuson bring you all the sports investing tips for tonight's matchups. If you want to learn more from the two legends at the desk, make sure you stay tuned to the closing bell.
Good afternoon, sports fans from all across the globe. I am the co-host, Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors, and it's that time of the day for the closing bell for Monday, June 24th, the last full week of June. Next Monday at this time, me and Riley will be talking about July 1st. Holy cow. But till then, let's give a proud shout out to our partner and sponsorship, of course, with WagerWire. If you have not downloaded the app, please head on over to Google Play or wherever you download the apps. It's free. I promise you it will be well worth the effort. We're going to be doing a lot of educational programming and shows throughout the rest of the summer and deep into the fall, and, of course, through to 2025 and beyond. So you want to head on over, download that app, scroll to the bottom, download all the sports books that are available in your state. Take advantage of the match deposits, the promos, the free plays, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I promise you it'll be well worth the effort. And if you want to join this great, amazing team, send an email to affiliate@wagerwire.com. Tell them JD from ECSI sent you. Travis, Zach, Amber, the rest of the crew will take great care of you. So without further ado, from the south side of Chicago, bad Riley Magnuson, of course. As I can get that mouse work. Here he is. Southside Riley himself. What's up, champ?
What is up, my friend? Happy Monday. Ready to rock and roll, as I always say. I don't know about you. Obviously, I'm not the hockey guy, but I'm juiced up for Game 7 tonight. I don't know if I can help out too much with any thoughts and opinions on what's going to happen, but I am juiced up and still, as far as recap of the weekend goes, juiced up and excited about the exciting finish that we had at the Travelers Champ over the weekend. Mr. Scheffler, as you say, it's Scotty's world, and everyone else is just living it. Thought Tom Kim, when it landed on 18 on not the playoff hole, but the actual 18th hole, I thought he was maybe gonna hole it and take it right there. But obviously some craziness and shenanigans that delayed us a little bit yesterday. But all in all, as far as the leaderboard goes, you can't ask for much more than that. With guys pushing at the the regular season or the the PGA Tour scoring record, whatever. You can't ask for too much more than that, and obviously a playoff that was a little anticlimactic, but all in all, it was a good tournament there.
Shout out to Mr. Berry. Double Dippin' was here with us with Andrew McGinnis talking NHL, CFL, and now we're here with the closing bell. Where to start? It was comical. I really felt, obviously not for just Tom Kim, Wednesday, 5 o'clock, Brady Kannon came on and hit a big, pre-flop on Tom Kim. I think it was 55 to 1 or something. And to withstand a 59 to withstand the iron, a signature event. No Rory, of course, and the leader the whole time. Thursday after round one, I sent out to the ECSI VIPs, hey, anyone wants to scratch an itch? Scotty's a handful of shots back, but he's plus 200. So if you couldn't get to him at plus 350, he's given the field about 6 shots, but you can get him at plus 200. The funny is, again, as I said on the timeline, it took a playoff and a 59 he withstood, but at the end, it is Scotty's world, and we're just running up for seconds, thirds, and top 10s and 20s. I think he put out a tweet, or his PR did, going to take the next few weeks off, and it sounds like, and unless I misread it, no, because we're only 3 weeks away. I think he's off till the British Open now.
Yeah, like you said, July 18th is the Open there. You've got Rocket Mortgage, which I haven't looked at the field for it. Is usually a well-attended one. The John Deere, kind of maybe not in my neck of the woods, but Illinois neck of the woods, and is always a fun one, but maybe not. At least the last couple of years has kind of scheduling-wise gotten for lack of a better word, shafted a little bit, and not one where stars come out for all too much. And then unless he's planning to go out for the Scottish Open the week before, that would be the only one that he might be geared up for ahead of the Open, is from what like you said, from that report that you're talking about.
Yeah, and I think Rory in his press on Monday last week says he's taking a couple of weeks off, will defend the Scottish, and then be ready for the British. So the tweet, Scotty's made already, I think, $23.7 million this year. His caddy has made $2.3 million. I knew I should have stuck to caddy and Riley.
Yeah, that's right. No, especially if you can find one of those. Yeah, but no, Rocket Mortgage, Tom Kim, Cam Young are the two favorites right now for this upcoming tournament. 12-1 for Tom Kim, 14-1 Cam Young. Batia 20-1 is number 3 there. So a lot of respect to a guy that's obviously starting to gain some steam there. Not, for lack of a better term, gain some steam. Popularity steam is what I'm talking about there. But some better names that are in it, just not playing as well. Ricky Zalatoris in that tournament. So as far as names, not bad. Obviously, those guys aren't playing well. And then, like I said, John Deere. Maybe we'll boost it back up. I didn't see the field yet, and I know my brother actually typically, maybe not this year, but typically goes out to that one, and so I know he'd be excited if we get a better field for that one too.
UFC 303 Saturday, T-Mobile. I've confirmed. I just was trying to reconfirm. Expecting Gam Liu. Liu to debut on ECSI Wednesday at 3:00. Liu will be on our channel this Wednesday, 3:00, and then moving forward on fight weekends, he will be here on Thursdays. So we're going to break down the 303. He'll talk a handful of fights, and then obviously talk about his site and where you can get all the action there. He heads out to Vegas on Thursday morning, and we'll be with Mitch and Paulie. Follow the money on Friday morning on VSiN, and then live at the fight. So excited for that. I mean, Riley, I know you're a UFC guy, and obviously the headliner is no Conor, no Chandler, but it's still a great card, correct?
100%, and it's interesting. Like you said, is it going to be that type of draw where the casual fans or the every few months fans are going to flock to it? I don't know, probably not, but it's one that I'm excited for, especially talking about the last 302 big pay-per-view fight. Obviously had some good fights, but we're talking about a lot of on the main card minus 300 favorites, even a couple that were crazier than that. I think the biggest favorite on the main card, the 5 fights, is Pereira at minus 155, maybe another minus 150. So it is really good. You get Brian Ortega coming back, and then the one to open the card that is going to be really, really exciting is Michael Venom Page, who we saw make a huge splash at his first UFC event. Last time out is fighting Ian Machado Gary, who's 26 and kind of next up as far as some of these young stars are concerned. So that fight, is going to probably catapult one of those two guys into the next level of UFC. And then even the loser is not going to be done for. Michael Benham Page is 37, but the winner of that is going to be set up real nicely going forward.
Excited, stoked, blessed, and honored to have Lou on with us starting on Wednesday, 3 o'clock. Set your calendar, turn on your notifications, of course, for that. A busy weekend, NCAA Omaha, Brady Kannon in Omaha for the weekend. Clearly stated very simply yesterday, actually Friday during the show with the NCAA insiders, Matt and Q. I said, am I crazy? I think these Aggies, I says, it's going 3 games. I love the over 2.5. Aggies shocked the world in Steel game 1. I said in the alert yesterday that my eyes were, Tennessee minus 200, but Vegas says, we're not giving them away on the run line. They were minus 145 on the run line. They went 4-1. I added, if you like Tennessee, grab them plus 125 to not just win today, but win tonight. And they're minus 200 tonight. So I hope some ECSI VIPs took advantage of that. So you got a game 3 at 7 o'clock, right? And then you need the split screen at 8:20 because we got the Stanley Cup.
I know, and that's another great reason. I would assume we're going to get the split box because you got ABC and ESPN on that one there for these 2 games. So that is tailor-made double box there, and by midway through the hockey game, you're probably going to be solo on the hockey game. So it is a good maybe last hurrah before we're mostly just MLB and golf for the summer here. So obviously. Not upset about that much baseball, but you know what I mean here with kind of the end of this portion of the sports calendar, if you will. There.
It's been a few weeks. I'm going to give you the stage here. I watched a clip of Eloy Jimenez try to round second the other day, and it looked like he was pulling 600 pounds. And the guy can't even walk, never mind trying to jog around the bases. We've talked about Luis Roberts potentially on the market. The big name is Crochet. I mean, you guys would be foolish, obviously, to let him go. The Dodgers are in town today. The Dodgers, we're talking. And the Dodgers are only minus 113. They're throwing the big maple against Crochet. I know Crochet's over-under on strikeouts today was 7.5. I expect Kopech to be on the move, but I can give you a few minutes to vent. White Sox, what the hell's going on? What you seeing? What you hearing?
I mean, as far as venting, I have I play slow pitch softball with my buddies on Thursday night, and I got a couple buddies who we usually commiserate our White Sox takes on that. But I mean, there's not much else to say other than just disheveled is the fan base there. And as far as Eloy Jimenez is concerned. He's kind of always had minor little health issues, and a lot of it was poor management of him, where he shouldn't have been playing in the outfield his first couple of seasons in the field with the White Sox, where he was. I mean, he's got a couple portions of his early career where he looked like he was going to be a perennial, maybe not a perennial all-star, but a borderline at least all-star, hitting 30+ home runs. And I don't think that's that ship has necessarily sailed, whether it's with the White Sox or somewhere else, as being a guy that can hit 30 home runs if he can stay in the lineup, but. You're right. He's an injury waiting to happen when he's out in the field or out on the base pass. So DH is destined position, and it was from day one. And they poor usage of it because he was a liability and a injury liability in the field in the first place there. So no, I'm curious to see what shakes out there. But like you said, it would have to be a king's ransom for Luis Robert, who. Obviously, his numbers aren't fantastic, but when you talk about the amount of control that a team would have over him, that would kind of be where the package would come from there. I hope that doesn't happen, and like you said, would be foolish for a guy who's pitching as well and as young as Crochet is to get rid of him. So building around those 2 guys, but as long as the Reinsdorf family is in control, not much in my opinion is going to change. You had the window of building a team for the 2020. Decade there, and they fumbled the bag there. So I'm not watching it on a daily basis like I used to. It is an impossible watch to watch on a even close to a daily basis. I'll pop in here and there, but other than some Luis Robert at bats and any Garrett Crochet starts, it is a tough watch these days. And the fact that they don't get the number 1 pick or a top 3 pick, whatever it is, because of the lottery rules, is pretty giant kick in the you-know-whats as far as where they are as a franchise and a roster, and and a farm system that, normally when you have a rebuilding situation, at some point it gets better, and obviously it's going to get better. But the farm system is not in a place where you say, look out for the White Sox in 2-3 years here, at least right now.
And for me, right behind Fenway Park, of course, and the Green Monster, I'm kind of speechless. Everyone knows my rants, my raves. I just befuddled with the offseason moves. Joey Cora, Mr. Alex Cora, the manager, dead man walking. In the final year of his contract, they don't have him locked up. Obviously, they plan to move in a different direction, which shame on them. Sox hot as a firecracker. If the playoffs started today, the Red Sox would be in the playoffs, the third wild card, and they're one game back from the second wild card. So I don't know where this came from. They're playing lights out. I think they're 8-2 their last 10. They're minus 157 with Tanner Houck tonight against Mr. Bassett. It's a series now. Here's the thing. There were no expectations. This was a 500 team at best. Now we're hot. Now we're quote unquote in the playoffs. Now the expectations are rising. And this is probably the series against Toronto, which I think they took 2 out of 3 in Toronto. They probably shit the bed here.
Yeah, and on top of their own success, it's a good chance to almost kind of bury Toronto. Maybe not for good necessarily. Obviously, if they have their own hot streak, they can climb out of something. But got a chance to kind of put them to rest for a little bit themselves there too. So, I obviously you can speak to it better than I can. But obviously, when you have those types of teams that are teetering a little bit and in contention, out of contention, that moment where you say, all right, here's the prime opportunity to take that next step or bury a team like this in your division. Like you said, they fall back a little bit. So curious to see what happens this week. And, these wild card races, at least the way it's standing, are going to be pretty hot and heavy on both sides of this thing if nothing changes.
And I got to laugh. Social media, of course, where everyone's an expert and everyone speaks their mind, even if you're in the basement of your mom's house and you're 48 years old or however old some of these people are. I got a Bulls fan shitting on your organization because they turned down the number 13 pick in the draft this year. And they could have traded Caruso to Sacramento for the 13th pick versus getting Giddey. This draft sucks, guys. Trust me. If you got assets, trade them because you rather get in next year, the year after, the year. I'm telling you right now, if you got a top 5 or 10 pick, I feel bad for a bad franchise this year.
Right, and the Bulls. I mean, there was a while where we were in the looking for those top picks. I would rather have a better pick than what they had, but again, it's not anything that you're losing sleep over. So if you're a Pistons fan, last year you got kicked in the sprouts. Obviously, you did again by whiffing on the lottery again, but not as big of a deal this year. And obviously, I think it had the Josh Giddey allegations or whatever you want to call him. I don't know that he's even on. He's not even under any legal allegations anymore. And it's public opinion and allegations at this point, to which I don't know, what to understand or believe. But it doesn't sound like he's under any true legal action going forward here. If that wasn't the case, I think more people would be a lot more excited for the Bulls' sake. He's 21 years old. He obviously needs a ton of work on his shooting ability. But aside from that, I mean, he's a facilitator. He's a great passer. He moves really well. And again, obviously he's 21 and he could be here for a while, and they could have a lot of different variations with him as a member. But if you're going to go forward, obviously they could do a lot more stuff here. But if they're going to go forward with Levine, Vooch, DeRozan or not, adding Giddey makes a lot more sense to this current roster at the very least than what they've had in the past. Since Lonzo went down, they have not had a true point guard. So, again, do I think this elevates them into the upper echelon of the NBA? Absolutely not. But for the time being, as much as I love Caruso, and I think more teams would like Caruso potentially than they would like Giddey, for this Bulls team, it makes a ton of sense to bring in a 21-year-old Josh Giddey to this team right now.
And lastly, I saw a tweet, the Spurs talking about Klingon from UConn and adding their own twin towers with Wemby and Klingon. The thought of that is kind of comical. I mean, there hasn't been a team with 2 twin towers in a long, long time. It did work in the prior NBA systems there, but what do you think of the Twin Towers and the Spurs?
I mean, again, when you consider the fact that there's no true home runs in this draft right now, I don't think it's a bad thought. I mean, I think, and maybe this is because he's anticipated to go higher. His odds, honestly, Researcher is minus 230 on DraftKings here. Klingon plus 220 for the number 1 overall pick. And then Klingon, number 2 pick, 12 to 1. Third pick, 3 to 1. So maybe he goes number 3 to Houston. And then fourth pick, he's 6 to 1 right now. But there's no indicators of any of these odds of any of these picks that he's going to be a obvious choice for any of the other spots. And so when you're looking at these these guys, you go out with a little experiment like that, or go out on a limb with something like that, or you've got a couple of guys that are obviously overseas that you aren't quite sure what their level of play was based on their competition, and so maybe you take a swing at one of those guys, but. Without it, especially at number 4, I mean, number 1, you got a harder decision to make, and you've probably the hardest decision to make. Good problem to have, but at number 4, if unless there's someone else that you're in love with, it's not a bad thought to take a swing at something like that.
Before we dive into baseball, guys, I'm just going to tell you what my eyes saw, and you can take it with a grain of salt. You can have some fun with it tonight. Stanley Cup tonight. The true number was Panthers minus 117. The number has gone to a pick to Oilers minus 113, 114. Our write-up before the series was Panthers in 6. I saw this as a split, and then Panthers winning game 5 and 6. Obviously, I was way wrong there. First 3 Panthers, last 3 Oilers. Oilers now the favorite. I said this with Andrew. It was like Rocky and Drago, where they got into the ring and you had a whole country rooting for Drago and Russia. And then by the 6th, 7th, 8th, 10th, 11th, 12th round, they started to get persuaded. There's probably 49 states and Canada all rooting for the Oilers tonight. And there's this one state called Florida, and there's 15,000 or whatever that are going to be in there in the arena. And obviously, if the Oilers score first, you can hear a church mouse. But here's what my eyes saw, and take it with a grain of salt, however you want to do it. At the Circa, Mr. Benson, love you to death. Thank you. Say hi to Derek for me, and Mr. Metcalf. Edmonton is minus 111 first period money line. The Panthers are minus 107. So the Oilers are favored. The puck line. The Panthers are minus the half, not the Oilers. So let's replay this. The Oilers are the favorite in the full game. The Oilers are the favorite in the first period, yet at the Circa, the puck line favorite is the Panthers. The under-over is 1.5, juiced under minus 148. As I said on Andrew's show on Friday, we had the under first period. I like the under in this game, full game, but I'm not laying the 150, the 155, or the 145 where you shop. I like the under in the first period. I'm not laying the 150 or the 155. Again, I'll say this one more time. The Oilers are the favorite, minus 111 in the first period. Yet on the puck line, the Panthers are the favorite. So if you want some action in the first period, I suggest playing the Panthers minus 107. So if it's 0-0 or 1-1, it's a push. I also suggest pizza and beer money on the Panthers minus a half at plus 205 or 210. That's your bonanza and your cherry on top today.
I like it. I do like it. And I think there's certain books that might have had people shading that way, because on DraftKings, the money has moved it to minus 125 for the Panthers in the first period there. So that is, I'm sure, is a public spot there that are taking the Panthers money there that probably had to shift it a little bit there. So I like what you're putting down, my friend. And yeah, I mean, game 7s, I don't know if maybe tonight's a different case because it's such a 3-0 to 0-3, and you've got the Oilers having come back with so much momentum here, where typically game 7s, everything is tight and you don't want to make your mistake here, and maybe that's the case after a couple of days off. I don't know if anyone's playing loose or you got a Panthers team that's obviously pissed off at home. You've got a Oilers team flying high. So I'm with you as far as leaning to that under, but maybe the current situation is a little different than in a lot of game sevens that we've seen in the past.
And listen, we had the market covered as the tournament progressed. We were pre-flop season with Rangers, Eastern Conference champs, Stanley Cup. We were pre-flop, actually in January, excuse me, I apologize there, Dallas, Western Conference champs and Stanley Cup. But we needed some coverage, so we have Edmonton plus 450. We have Florida plus 425. So again, I haven't been diving into these games, but what I'm just reading the market and what my eyes are telling me, and I'm just telling the world right now that you usually don't see a favorite in a period and the puck line on the other side. So again, my eyes aren't deceiving me. Maybe DraftKings got our alert an hour ago, and we're moving the markets. Who knows?
That's what I'm trying to say. 100%. That's all I'm trying to say as well. I was just interested that DraftKings had it so different there. No, I 100%. It is not often you see that. Sometimes in baseball, it's always something to make note of too, where sometimes you got a first 5 or first 3 innings, and it's similar to that. You got a favorite in the first 5, but the puck line or the run line is the other way. So yeah, I wasn't trying to contradict at all. No, 100%. It is a bizarre situation there. So, before we move on, what's final score prediction here? Just off the cuff here.
If you want some real fun to throw some pizza and beer on an overtime, I think that's plus 330. I would just cringe. I really feel bad for Florida right now. 2 years ago, 3 years ago, right? No, 3, 2, and this year. Okay. So was it 2 years ago they win the President's Cup and lose in the first round? And then the Bruins said, hold my beer. We'll do the same thing for you so we don't feel bad. Panthers have been knocking on the door. Okay. I just could not imagine the feeling up 3-0. And now you're in a game 7. What the summer and the offseason and what the fan base. I'm going to say the return of Bob, tight scoring, 2-1 Florida, empty netter. I'm going to go on record and say Panthers 3-1.
3-1. Okay, I'll go the other way. Again, I'm not the hockey guy. I've got no inside information. I'll be the public man here and go with the 49 states and Canada, riding with the Oilers here. And I'll say 3-2, and I'll go as public as can be and say McDavid gets the tiebreak winner there, and in the last minute of the game, not overtime, last minute of the game. How about that?
And listen, the one thing that is guaranteed is this. Connor McDavid is winning the Conn Smythe. That's a wrap.
Yeah.
That is an absolute wrap. Unfortunately, I apologize, Mr. Russell. Mr. Russell Saylor. Our Bob tickets have long now left the building. My Kachuk and my Barkov tickets have long left the building. McDavid will win the Conn Smythe. Now it's just a matter of who hoists the trophy. I say 3-1 Panthers. Riley says 3-2 Oilers. That's why we play the game, as Herm Edwards once said. So, baseball. Actually, I'll jump into Tennessee and
go ahead.
Aggies. Again, Aggies steal game 1, dominated the game. Had opportunities. Warning track shot would have tied the game to end the game there at 4-1 yesterday. I think you unfortunately will see the Vols. They're minus 200. Vegas said, "Hey Aggies, you had your shot." I think the line 10.5. I think that Tennessee scores some runs today. This is not going to be a Paul Skeens and oh God, I'm drawing a blank on the other pitcher. It was a great pitcher stool last year. I don't think we're going to see that. I think the Vols will chip away. I get the Vols winning tonight. I think I won't even give a score, but I think they'll win comfortably. Hey, listen, it's a great series. They're going to get to 7 there. They got their 3 games there. So, but I think the Vols win the championship tonight.
I'm good with it. I am good with it. Again, not a college baseball guy either, but could be kind of that 6-1 type game is kind of what you're talking
Hey,
about.
I
That's kind of where
had
you're.
I had 5-1 on the brain.
There you go. No, I would love to, as for excitement's sake, I would love, I love a good finish in that one too. But I'm with you. Seems like, the writing's on the wall in that one. But that's why you play the game, as you just said. So, heading over to baseball, as you said there, my friend. Yeah, I mean, we could just so I don't forget it. Let's start with my White Sox here. I don't know the last time I've seen a split this close. Obviously, the Dodgers, no Mookie, a little banged up, obviously, but. Minus 125 for top 5 team in baseball, at least record-wise, against the worst team in baseball here. Minus 125 on the road in Chicago here. But Garrett Crochet on the mound is a large reason for that. He has been actually last time out got hit up a little bit. He still 8 Ks, but 9 hits, 3 runs. The real hot stretch before that. So if you think he gets back to it, then that line could make a little more sense there. But you got James Paxton on the other side for the Dodgers, who last 2 out. 2 hits, 1 earned in each of those 2 starts. 8 Ks last time out, so he could be catching a little fire. His last 3 out of 4 have been good there. So, any thoughts on this one at all? With a last place White Sox team, a short dog here at home.
Overnight number Dodgers minus 135 and the White Sox plus 115 currently at the Circa. Dodgers minus 113 and the White Sox plus 103. Overnight under over 8 juiced under minus 15 cents. Now a flat 8 at the Circa. I'm looking at the team totals where our eyes have just been on fire. Oh my God, I wish Saturdays we were 3-0 on team totals. All team totals over 5.5. And they came in just like, I think, 3rd, 4th, 5th innings. It was so nice. And we're on a great couple week run in the bases here. I'm looking at it because usually Dodgers are big favorites, and what you can do is you can get plus money on their team totals. It's usually 5.5, sometimes 4.5. Today, their team total is 4.5 juiced under minus 140. I don't say this often, especially with the Dodgers. It's cheaper if you like the Dodgers to lay the 113 today. You don't catch that often. Or if you wanted to get cute, you can get them at plus 120 to get to 5 or better. I think this will be a low-scoring game. I mean, it's the sizzle or the steak. The sizzle is Crochet, and the steak, obviously, is the Dodgers. I'll say this. If you want to get cute, it's an if. You want to get cute, White Sox first 5, take them with Crochet. And then you don't have to worry about the back end. You don't have to worry about 27 outs from the Dodgers. So if you like the White Sox today, hopefully the big maple isn't on fire. Hey, listen, a veteran pitcher, he's an inning eater after Walker Buehler back on the IL. Yamamoto shelved now for a while. This Dodger team has not many pitchers right now, so they need Paxton to get him 5 or 6 tonight. So he's going to stay in as long as he can. So again, if you like the White Sox, take a shot with them first 5.
I thought you were going to go with an unprecedented White Sox first 5, Dodgers full game there, just predicting the downfall of the White Sox bullpen there, which obviously is a very, 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 very dangerous move. But yeah, it's a tough ask going full game on a White Sox game here with this bullpen here. I mean, Garrett Crochet himself has been a crazy hot streak, and he's even 500 as far as his decisions go there. So interesting one there. And like you said, Dodgers a little banged up. So it is a tough one to call. White Sox top 4 at least getting healthier, but still not really producing there. So interesting one for sure there on the numbers there. Tigers hosting the Phillies, another one to talk about here. Aaron Nola, Casey Mize. I believe you and I, his last time out, talked about Casey Mize a little bit. Starting to get turned to the corner a little bit here, at least it seems. Last 2 starting to get a little better. 4 and 5 hits allowed last 2 times out. 2 earned runs against Atlanta. Only threw 4. Like I had to pitch a lot of pitches, threw a lot of pitches to get out of the damage there against the Braves. But could be turning the corner a little bit here after some shakiness early in the season. And Aaron Nola, last 2 a little shakier. Last time out, I believe he just gave up a big bomb. The time before that, 11 hits, 8 earned runs. So he's been, for the most part, pretty good. A couple of bad ones here and there. But Phillies minus 185 on the road. Tigers have been typically getting a little more respect than that, especially with the potentially improved Casey Mize. Respect to the Phillies in this one in Detroit?
Yeah, and overnight number 180 with an 8.5 juice under minus 25 cents. Now 175 with an 8 over 23 cents. If you like the Phillies and Nola, couple things here. First 5 minus the hook. You don't have to lay the 175, 180 there. A lot less juice there. If you want to get cute and coy, Phillies team total over 4.5. You just got to lay the 20 cents there. I've been waiting for Mize to turn the corner. I had a lot of mad respect as the Tigers as one of my sleepers in that division. Obviously, it hasn't worked out. I don't know what they'll be doing at the All-Star break and the trade deadline here. But the Phillies team, I just don't get in front of very often, and I choose not to. If you want to follow them, you got to pay the tax and the fiddler. Again, first 5 minus the hook. I know some people today that played them full game minus the 1.5 because of the Tigers back end, which is okay. Foley's okay. Breba, they have a few okay arms here, but they're hot and cold. But you get the 27 guaranteed outs from the Phillies. So if you wanted to just lay the 1.5, I'm okay with that as well.
That's right. And aside from yesterday, big blow up offensively, 11 runs against the White Sox yesterday. The 5-6 games before that, it was, I don't know that they cracked more than 1 run for 5-6 games in a row. So unless we're seeing what we're seeing yesterday, not an offense that's producing very well right now. So I'm kind of on the side of the Phillies on this one as well. I can see it. And Aaron Nola, obviously, if you're getting a struggling offense and get him revived a little bit after the last couple. And, it could be a tough one here in Detroit for the Tigers there.
I agree.
All righty, moving on down the line. Mariners and Rays. Let's see, Brian Wu and Taj Bradley. Pretty close, at least on this spot here. I'm seeing Tampa Bay about minus 115, maybe a little lower than that, minus 112. This Tampa team obviously has been kind of just teetering back and forth. They are heating up a little bit right now. But you've got these two pitching staffs or pitching matchups here. Excuse me, not bad. Seattle last handful of games has cooled off a little bit. Offense hasn't been working out. Tough stretch in Cleveland and Miami this last week or so. Any thoughts on this one? We got Brian Wu, who's pitching pretty well since May. Didn't start until May. Hasn't allowed more than 5 hits at all in any of his starts here. We would like to see a clear favorite in the Mariners if you're respecting Seattle here tonight?
I think it's a Tampa number. Tampa's been our kryptonite. I've backed way the hell off of them. That maybe hence why we're on such a, 7.5 units to the good in baseball 2 weeks ago, 8 units this week to the good in bases. To me, it's a Tampa number. It's Tampa or nothing. And I know the world's on the under. First 1 to 4 wins this game, I think. I lean Tampa first 5, but their offense is just so hit or miss. And we don't know which Seattle team. I've been bitching and yelling and screaming them all year. Then you look at the standings, you're like, holy cow, where did that come from? Right. And on paper, preseason, spring training, they were the team to beat out West. I know Houston's been there before, and we knew the Angels would no-show Ohtani. Now Trout's hurt. We get all that. Oakland is, we call them the pesky A's. They remind me of the Orioles of a couple of years ago. They're not the doormats they used to be, but it's going to take some time. So lean Tampa, first 1 to 4 wins, and I'm not going to follow the public and say, the under's a lock, and I don't use that word lock here, but it sure does look like an under to me.
Yeah, no, 100%. It was definitely one to bring up there. Atlanta is in St. Louis tonight. You've got, I believe, a Lance Lynn start here for St. Louis. Schwellenbach for Atlanta here, who last couple has been decent. This will be start number 5 for Schwellenbach. This is his rookie season here for Atlanta. You've got Lance Lynn, who has been pretty hit or miss. Last time out, 10 hits against a bad Miami offense. 10 hits, 5 runs allowed for Lance Lynn. Kind of what we've seen out of Lance Lynn the last couple of years. A little bit more improved than what we saw from him last year, obviously. But Atlanta minus 130 in St. Louis here. St. Louis has obviously been an interesting case this year. They just took 3 straight at home against San Francisco. Offense was rolling pretty well, and this Braves team is starting to churn the wheels a little bit themselves here too. Would you have preferred a little more respect for Atlanta, or is this fair given St. Louis playing pretty well at home right now?
I want to write off the Mets, and then they catch fire, and then shame on you, Mr. Diaz, as you get caught with the slime on your hand, and there goes another 10 games for you. How am I going to trade you? How am I trading you to the damn Giants? You go on the IL, you come back with shit on your hand, you look like Lester Hayes walking to the mound. I'm like, are you kidding me? Lance Lynn, it's hit or miss here. I'm looking at some team totals. The Atlanta 4.5 minus 110, or 4.5 minus 102 to the over. St. Louis 3.5 juiced over minus 145. I'm not going to lay that juice. I like Atlanta to win the game today. I would take a swing at Atlanta team total to get to 5 or better. I'm expecting, or should I say, hoping for the Lance Lynn blow up though.
No, I was trying to find the odds for it. Again, it's tough to call with Lance Lynn. The time where you go against him, he's that bulldog and getting out of jams, and he's howling at himself in triumph there. But I'm with you. I think could be a tough one for him here. I am going to go to for my bomb of the night, Austin Riley for Atlanta plus 320 from Atlanta. He is 3 for 6 lifetime against Lance Lynn with the bomb. Rest of the lineup, though, Ozuna and Olsen, 4 for 21, 4 for 22 with 12 Ks lifetime against Lance Lynn. So the middle of the order might have to go through Austin Riley.
What is Marcell Ozuna tonight for a homer?
Ozuna is 195, plus 195 there.
I sent him out on the alert at plus 220. Someone's getting our alert today. Someone's got our alert today. I got him at 220, so now he's down to 195. I don't know who's – I don't do – Julian Edlow's off from DraftKings till football season. We're giving him 6 weeks off. I don't know who in DraftKings got us piped in here. I'm not sending any emails to them, but, yeah, Marcell Ozuna today for a homer.
Those are pretty significant odds there. And not to pat myself on the back, I've been pretty cold with home run props all season long, but had the Jock Peterson one from Friday about 220. Yes, so that one I'll take there. But I'll stick with my Austin Riley, but I do like plus 2 to 1 for Marcell Ozuna there is definitely nothing to shake a stick at there. So moving on down the line, not too many left. Texas and Milwaukee. Milwaukee, the home team in this one, 45-33. Freddie Peralta on the mound. Last few out has been a little hit or miss. He's had his hot streaks. Last time out, though, 3 hits, no runs, 2 walks, 8 Ks. And the odds on this one, Brewers right around minus 180, I believe it is. Lorenzen for the Rangers. Rangers trying to get a little healthier here. Lorenzen's been pretty good the last handful here. Are we respecting the number for Freddie Peralta, or lack of respect here for Michael Lorenzen?
If my memory serves me correct, in his last start, we had the first 5 on Peralta minus the hook, and I think they won 2-0. How the mighty have fallen. Texas now, big dogs, no pitching, can't hit. I go back to the well with Milwaukee. First 5 minus the hook today. I do, and I'm wondering what your odds are if they stole this one. I'll go on the other side, though. I like a Corey Seager bomb tonight.
Okay. The wheels are starting to churn these last few days, but that kind of lends into maybe not much respect for today's case. They've won 4 in a row. Scherzer back yesterday, but obviously bigger dogs today. For Seager tonight, 295, plus 295 in Milwaukee here tonight.
Yeah, they didn't touch that one. They hit the Ozuna one hard, but they didn't touch the Seager, so that probably doesn't bode well for us.
We'll see, though. Obviously, that could be just some respect for Peralta there. I'm interested to see how it goes. But Seager 1 for 5 with the bomb against. He's got 1 off of him in his lifetime there. You know me with my lifetime stats there. But interesting to see. Curious to see where we go with this Texas team going forward here. Like I said, only a few left. Cubs and Giants, the late one. You always coin him steel or aluminum. It is Justin Steele for the Cubs. against Eric Miller for the Giants. Steele, 3.16 ERA, has been pretty good for the most part these last handful of starts. Had some rockiness in May, but here in June, he's been much, much better here, keeping the runs off the board for the most part here. And we've got a Eric Miller on the mound for the Giants. Kind of a bullpen start for the most part, or at least only an inning or two from Eric Miller here. He's got 36 games under his belt this season in his rookie season, but none past a couple innings there. So never my favorite to try and judge those games with the relievers getting the start there. It's not my forte, if I'm being honest with you there. But obviously an interesting one where two teams under 500, but still very much in the thick of the wild card race at the moment here.
Yeah, I was on Sports Grid yesterday at 3:30 to 4 with Scott Wetzel and Joe Ranieri. Gave out some WNBA props. We split there, gave out team total over 4.5 on the Mets, and we just got it over there. Too many left on base. Should have had that way early, but thank you for the last homer. But again, the travel team. Right, the travel team now traveling after the late West Coast, the late ESPN game. Now traveling out west again. We were on steel as last start. We cashed a ticket. Is it going to be steel or aluminum? You talked about San Fran getting swept. I lean Giants here. Travel team ESPN game going Midwest to West, and a team coming off 3 straight losses. So give me the Giants tonight.
Yeah, and despite a little bit of a revenge factor, I don't remember if it was a clean. It was 2 out of 3 that the Cubs took from San Francisco last week in Chicago, and then the Giants had to St. Louis and get swept. Offense wasn't bad though this last handful of days. It was a lot of bad pitching. So if the Cubs bats are quiet here, then you could absolutely expect the Giants, if their offense stays up to par of what they've been doing despite these losses, then I believe I am with you here as far as a Giants team waking up a little bit and getting some revenge this week.
And the Giants, I don't know why I've fallen in love with them. They just pesky. They don't quit. They just keep coming and coming. And they might be slow starters early in the game offensively, but they're going to score late. I've had some success with them in their team totals. Again, we're waiting on their starting pitching. They got Logan Webb. As Scotty Webb would say, they got Robbie Ray in the wings. They got Alex Cobb in the wings. They just need some starting pitching, and they need some help in the back end. Their very back end's okay. It's serviceable. Yeah. They could use a Bridgie or two. So I hope that they make some moves come deadline, because I think the Giants could be, I'm telling you, I could see them that second half team to beat out west.
No, and I'm not going to fight you on that at all. It's one that you've been calling your shot on, so you will deserve those flowers if that comes to roost, my friend there. So, and we've talked about it. We don't need to spend more time on it. But given the fact that they keep striking out in the free agency, big market names, you could expect them, maybe not expect them, but assume that they would be willing to pay a higher price for a potential all-star that's on the move this trade deadline here. So I'm interested to see it, and I am not going to fight you, especially with, they're the bottom third team in the NL right now, but they're still only 3 games out of the wild card. So a good week right now against the Cubs, and they're right back potentially even in the last wild card spot if things go well this week, let alone the next second half of the season here. So I'm with you on that one for sure. A lot of teams that could fall back even further and be at the bottom of the barrel in the NL in a couple of weeks' time as well there.
No, big night of sports. Again, 7 o'clock, Tennessee and Aggies winner take all for the NCAA baseball championship. I'll be curious to see how many players come to Cape Cod for the Cape Cod Baseball League, Summer League there after their game tonight. Stanley Cup at 8:20. Someone's going to leave that building very happy, and someone is going to be feeling spurned. I think outside looking in, I think it was a great run for the Oilers. I think Stuart Skinner has solidified himself in the back end there. A great showing by Connor McDavid and the rest of the troops. Congratulations to McDavid and the Conn Smythe winner. And then probably around 11:15, someone will be hoisting the cup.
That's right. And I haven't seen what the updated odds on the Conn Smythe are, because I know it's obviously astronomical. minus 2,500, 25-0-0 for the Conn Smythe there. That is going to be tough to wrestle away from him there. It's going to take a 5 goal night from someone and a 5-4 win or something like that to to wrestle it away from him there. But obviously not in the cards for that one there. So I'm with you. And then curious to see where we go after this. We got the NBA draft coming up again. Almost next to impossible to call anything outside of maybe the top couple of picks here. So I am not an NBA draft expert. Certain times I've got some more insights than other years. This is not one that I care to try and explain what is going to happen, at least right now. Once we get to Thursday, maybe we'll have a better idea here. But as far as closing it down, excited for NBA draft, but not as we keep saying, not the most star-studded right now.
No, and if 3 from UConn, Klingen, Castle, and Newton, there's been some talk all 3 fall in the top 10. I think one might fall just outside the top 10. We'll see there, but not a big draft. And the comedy on all this is the NBA following the NFL. It's going to be 2 days. They're going to do round 1 in one day and round 2 in the second day. So I feel bad for the commentators in day 2 because, it used to be, get them in, get them out. And now they're going to put on a whole nother show for round number 2.
Yeah, and the round number 2, the value has gotten better than it was 15 years ago. But to your point, it is still not something where you're going to be able to anticipate where, certain guys are going to fit into rosters right away. These second-round picks can become valuable in a couple, 3 years here, down the road. We've had some more success stories there, but it is still, people are going to watch, though, and that's why they do it, and, it's going to probably stay like that for the foreseeable future. So I'm interested to see it. Bulls, I think, are number 11 pick, but like you said, nobody that's going to be franchise-changing outside of maybe 1 or 2 guys that will, realize as a star in 2-3 years here.
Closing thoughts.
Other than that, like you said, we've got UFC later in the week. You've got a Game Lou come in, so I'll probably give a few of my own thoughts, but obviously paving the way for that one. For that show later in the week, and you've got Brady Kannon coming talking Rocket Mortgage. I'll probably give out some thoughts as far as that one. Not as star-studded, but it's that time of the year after tonight where it's baseball, and then at least on our shows here, baseball, UFC, and golf is going to be dominating the conversations, and then obviously before we know it, we'll be I'm sure we'll get some more news on NBA and NFL off seasons and not draft, but getting ready for training camp and whatnot there. So I'm ready for the next few months leading up until the fall here, but obviously trying to cherish tonight and the rest of the baseball season while we're still here.
Yeah, and next week will be a short week. I don't want to get the bride, not upset, but again, July 1st is Monday, the 4th is Thursday, and then, of course, we're going to extend the long weekend. So, the 4th, 5th, and the weekend, we'll circle back, obviously, on the 8th on that Monday. As you said, busy week ahead. Brady Kannon, Tea Time Wagers on Wednesday at 5 o'clock. Thursday, Gam Lou, UFC 303. Thursday at 3 o'clock. We will have a closeout show with the NCAA Insiders with Matt and Q on Friday there. So no DraftKings, and the last show for the NCAA Insiders till the fall. We'll be doing some SEC football with them. So a lot of good stuff tonight. First day of the week. Congrats to the ECSI VIPs. Enjoy Envelope Monday. And me and Riley will be back tomorrow, 5-ish, right?
Oh, yeah.
We'll be back with the closing bell. So for everyone, have a great night. Mr. Saylor, thank you so much. Mr. Berry, thank you. Everyone else watching, thank you guys. Wager Wire, you're the best. We'll see you soon.